to the starry mountain where water flow has just ended a few days ago, and welcome to the tutorial about turning with antispins, with the 4-pedal antispin flower, which is definitely, I think, you want to be able to do once you learn the 4-pedal antispin flower, which I made a tutorial about, right? So if you've kind of practiced this, went through the steps, and your antispin flower kind of exists, then we can talk about how to turn with that. So obviously, for being able to turn with it, you need to be able to do at least somehow this 4-pedal antispin in the other direction. So typically people learn first this one, like spinning forwards and moving your arms backwards, as it's somehow easier with the poi spinning forwards than in backwards. So now the first thing you're gonna have to try is doing it the other direction. So repeat all the steps I've demonstrated in that video. As soon as you have a basic control, you don't have to be like, it doesn't have to be perfect for you to be able to turn with that, but you have to have some sort of basic control of that timing particularly. Because remember, what's difficult about the antispin flower isn't only keeping that nice 4-pedal antispin shape, but it's keeping the timing. And when it comes to turning, the timing is really essential. As basically you're splitting the 4-pedal antispin in two pieces, from which one happens on one side when you turn and the other happens on the other. So half of that is obviously in backwards and the other half is in forwards. So you could technically just learn how to do that one half, because the way to practice that is, okay, let's say you start in here and you just want to do half. Starting with my left in front, right in the back, I'm going to do half. So you kind of have to be able to, you know, aim for this kind of, this moment when the poi pass each other and go away from each other. When one swings down and the other one swings up. Then, after that, you change sides. And here you do the same half, but now in backwards. So the poi spinning in backwards and the arms going in forwards, continuing the same way. So that means now my right is going to go up and the left is going to go down. Tack! And when I'm here, I switch sides, I turn, and I repeat the movement. You always want to do first the antispin, up. Maybe with that you want to make a step as you do the antispin. So tack, and after turn, change sides simultaneously. Because when you do that fluently eventually, the important thing is that the poi they never meet on the same side. So always one on this side and one on that side, and they turn, right? You can have a look from this perspective. So how does it work with those circles versus pedals, right? We can have a look on the antispin flower from two different perspectives. Either based on the amount of pedals or the amount of circles, right? We have 4 pedals, but in fact 3 circles. So that means that like we have these two different ways to approach every antispin based trick. I guess in this case it's actually more easy to just focus on the pedals, just like I demonstrated, doing half, switch side, half, switch side. But another kind of shadow drill you can do that's going to eventually help you to keep the timing and the right amount of circles when you do that, just like when I was teaching you, just like I show in the video with the 4-pedal flower, how you can actually just move the hands up and down, right? And doing this exact amount of circles and then anti-spinning that, because every anti-spin move can be kind of folded into a non-anti-spin move. And that when you unfold, it becomes the nice 4-pedal flower. So this way you're practicing the timing and the amount of circles during the antispin flower. So you can do that exactly the same with this turning pattern. Stand the same way I stand. Start with the left in front, so you can then bring your right, and this exercise starts from here. So you're gonna do 2 circles with the right, here in front of you, and 1 in the back. And as the right crosses, because you're focusing on the right, it's my green poi, the left always crosses the side with it in contrary. So that means they never meet on the same side. So you start here and you're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you can see that if I start moving my hands up and down, let's say every time I'm looking towards the side, away from the camera, into that volley over there, I put that hand up. Left up, right up. And 1, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And when I start unfolding that, it becomes this 4-pedal turning anti-spin flower. So that's another kind of way to approach that. And I just love how you can always take this anti-spin pattern, fold it, squeeze it into this like non-anti-spin real bass pattern or just circle bass pattern, and then open it up into a beautiful anti-spin thing. So this is exactly the case. And this folding and unfolding is something you can experiment with or play with when you do the anti-spin flower. Because we have those like ways of body tracing the anti-spins, right? So for instance, after the stop pedal, the right here, the green point going up, I can let it go down around my shoulder, like instead of just doing, because essentially what it does, it goes up and then down, right? I can turn a little bit faster and then pull it down and isolate it. So I do this kind of isolation above the shoulder, like a snake. I've made a tutorial about that. It's this half an hour long tutorial about body tracing of snakes and isolations and all that. So really recommend watching. So then, as it goes down, I can isolate that around the shoulder. So then that looks like this. And I can do the same thing with the left, but when it goes up, I would bring it under the shoulder and kind of isolate it in backwards and then let it go down on the other side. So up, under shoulder, down. See, it's basically the same thing, right? So then I can have this pattern. I can like have this turning flower, which is kind of body traced. And there are different ways. You can always find ways how to pull those anti-spins closer to your body. And then the shape, of course, is not as clear and precise, but it feels really good. So that's about like, yeah, not only you can anti-spin everything, but you can also body trace everything and sort of isolate everything. Yeah, and so what to do with this trick? It's fun to be turning like on and on, but it's also really fun to be turning back and forth. So the movement of the arms could be either just turning on and on, right? Or going like from backwards to forwards. So then it would look like this. So obviously, you just have to be clear about how only the arms work, right? And then you can do that with a poi. So yeah, this is when you speed up. Looks cool. You can have like a little bit more of a ninja style. Yeah, and of course turning both sides. It's pretty good. Tack. And yeah, that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and see you in the next anti-spin tutorial.